The teams and drivers have expressed their concerns regarding the 2026 regulations. Mercedes and Red Bull bring massive upgrades, and Yuki is aiming for the second Red Bull seat despite a new contract for Perez. Do consider subscribing to the channel. Let's get straight into the latest F1 news. Red Bull has arrived at the Canadian Grand Prix equipped with a fresh rear wing, while Mercedes has also brought an upgrade to Montreal as the F1 2024 development race intensifies. After a remarkably dominant season in F1 2023, where Max Verstappen comfortably secured his third consecutive world championship by winning all but one of the 22 races, many expected Red Bull to continue their dominance in F1 2024. Although they started the new season strongly, with victories in 4 out of the first 5 races, Red Bull's position has become more precarious in recent weeks due to the resurgence of McLaren and Ferrari, who triumphed in Miami and Monaco respectively. Red Bull faced significant challenges during the weekend in Monte Carlo, as Verstappen finished only in 6th place, while his teammate Sergio Perez fell out in the initial stage of qualifying. Following the team's lackluster performance, Jos Verstappen, Max's father, declared that Red Bull's era of dominance has come to an end. He urged the team to respond after successful upgrades from Ferrari and McLaren. Since neither Ferrari nor McLaren have introduced any further improvements in Montreal, Red Bull has responded by introducing a revamped rear wing. The new wing features a redesigned flap that extends across the span of the rear wing. The revised design aims to enhance the flap's geometry in order to generate more localized downforce while maintaining stable airflow under all conditions. Additionally, the team from Milton Keynes has also introduced an enlarged front brake cooling exit duct to enhance reliability and address the considerable brake demands at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Meanwhile, Mercedes, who have yet to secure a spot on the podium in the F1 2024 season, have made adjustments to their front suspension. They have realigned the track rod and lower wishbone forward leg to reduce boundary layer losses and improve airflow to the car's floor. The Silver Arrows have also made modifications to the front corner of the W15 by increasing the size of the brake duct inlets, although this adjustment is specific to the circuit. Aston Martin is the only other leading team introducing a new component in Canada. Their latest addition is a beam wing with lower tips compared to its predecessor. Among the bottom half of the field, Alpine is the only team without any upgrades this weekend. Williams, RB, Sauber, and Haas are all striving to make progress. Williams has undertaken a major suspension overhaul, implementing a shorter steering arm at the front and a redesigned pull rod system at the rear. Although the new rear suspension shares the same geometrical design as its predecessor, it offers a wider range of ride height adjustments without physically swapping the pull rod component. This modification brings the car closer to the weight limit permitted by the regulations. RB's new rear wing aims to produce more efficient downforce compared to the previous model. Additionally, they have introduced a front wing specifically designed for the Canadian Grand Prix, which reduces the overall load generated by the front wing, thus balancing the utilization of low-drag rear wings that will be utilized in Montreal. Sauber's alterations to the rear and beam wings for this race are designated as circuit-specific, similarly to Haas, who have modified their front wing flap to decrease front load and improve the front wing's efficiency. Yuki Tsunoda expresses his contentment with remaining in the Red Bull team despite being denied a promotion when Sergio Perez's contract was extended. Perez recently signed a 2-year extension, securing his position until the end of the 2026 season. This decision essentially closed the door on Tsunoda moving up to the senior team, as Max Verstappen still has 4 years left on his contract. However, Tsunoda clarifies that this does not mark the end of his association with Red Bull. He states that he is happy in the junior team, having been a part of it for the past 4 years. Nonetheless, before committing to a new deal, Tsunoda has certain requests. He desires the potential opportunity to advance in the future, as he believes unforeseen circumstances could alter the situation with Perez. Tsunoda states, "I wish the contract would reflect more commitment." He acknowledges his existing commitment to Red Bull, but hopes for a stronger commitment from them. Discussions are ongoing, and Tsunoda emphasizes the importance of aligning with Red Bull on their future plans. Despite these conversations, he remains content with the Red Bull team. Tsunoda acknowledges that Perez still needs to perform over the next 2 years, highlighting the uncertain nature of the environment. He will concentrate on his own progress, aiming to prove himself by further growth. Tsunoda hopes that Red Bull will recognize his development and potential, which might potentially shift the current circumstances. Moreover, Tsunoda mentions that he has other options apart from Red Bull. He had previously mentioned Aston Martin, who will be powered by Honda in 2026. Tsunoda reveals that there is interest from other teams as well, broadening his prospects for the future. He mentions, "It's promising that other teams are starting to show interest in me." Tsunoda has received several options from other teams, indicating a growing demand for his skills. He sees this as an opportunity to increase his value, particularly in the current dynamic drivers market. However, Tsunoda reiterates that his priority lies with Red Bull. He wants to ensure they are on the same page, since Red Bull has played a significant role in his career. Red Bull's Motorsport advisor, Helmut Marko, expresses his intention to continue with Tsunoda, stating that he is likely to stay at RB for the upcoming season. The second seat is being contested by Daniel Ricciardo and Liam Lawson. For the upcoming F1 season in 2026, it has been officially confirmed that there will be significant changes, including the introduction of smaller and lighter cars. Adrian Newey, a prominent figure in car design, previously expressed his thoughts on these new regulations, referring to them as strange. Nevertheless, he recognized that every technical director would need to adapt to them. Formula One will undergo several sweeping modifications in 2026, encompassing not only new engines but also entirely new car designs. Adrian Newey questioned whether these changes would have a positive or negative impact. While the engine regulations have been known for quite some time, the sports management finally made an official announcement on Thursday regarding the fresh technical specifications for the cars. One of the notable highlights is that the cars will be lighter, shorter, and narrower compared to previous models. The current minimum weight will be reduced by 30 kilograms, bringing it down to 768 kg. Moreover, the wheelbase will be shortened by 200 mm, going from 3600 mm to 3400 mm, and the cars will be 100 mm narrower than their current size. The FIA aims to create more agile cars through these alterations. In addition, the drag reduction system, DRS, will be replaced by an electric boost as the new method for overtaking. This new system closely resembles the push-to-pass technique used in other racing series. However, the most significant change for designers will be the implementation of active aerodynamics for both the front and rear wings. Adrian Newey, the renowned designer associated with Red Bull, previously referred to these changes as slightly strange. During an earlier interview with Autosport, he stated, "Currently, these regulations appear somewhat unusual. However, it would be premature to dismiss them as bad. As a designer, you initially examine them and have your opinion on whether they are good or bad. But at some point, you have to let go of that and embrace the challenge." Newey's comments primarily concerned the engines, which will possess greater battery power to achieve a 50-50 balance between internal combustion and electric power. Christian Horner, the team principal of Red Bull, humorously called this technology Frankenstein. Newey remarked on this split, stating, "It will definitely be an unusual formula, as the engines will function as generators almost constantly. Therefore, having the engine working hard in the middle of Lowe's hairpin will require some adjustment. From what I can say, the engine regulations were established and implemented without much consideration for the chassis aspect. Consequently, this is causing significant issues in terms of finding a suitable solution." Nonetheless, Newey acknowledged that these changes promote efficiency, and anything that accomplishes that goal aligns with his previous statements of using F1 to popularize a trend. Whether Newey will witness the 2026 regulations being implemented remains uncertain, as he announced his departure from Red Bull in the first quarter of 2025. Although there have been widespread rumors linking him to Ferrari, he has yet to confirm whether he intends to continue working in F1. Lewis Hamilton mentioned in Monaco that he doesn't expect to outperform George Russell in qualifying for the F1 2024 season. However, he expressed his intention to give it a shot in Canada, where he will also test Mercedes' new front wing. After competing in 8 races this year, Hamilton finds himself trailing both in the driver's standings and in the head-to-head qualifying battle against his teammate, with a current score of 1-7. During the recent Monaco race, Hamilton attributed his qualifying defeat to the new front wing, which was exclusively installed on Russell's W15. Initially, there was uncertainty regarding which driver would have access to the updated wing, but Mercedes' trackside engineering director, Andrew Shovlin, disclosed that Lewis said they should allow George to use it. Shovlin stated that Lewis made that decision quite simple for us. Now, for the upcoming race in Montreal, Mercedes has acquired enough parts to equip both drivers with the wing. Hamilton is determined to regain some ground against his teammate. When asked if he will succeed in out-qualifying George this weekend, Hamilton replied, "I'll try." Regarding the possibility of achieving his first podium finish of the season in Montreal, he expressed optimism, saying, "I believe it's within reach. We have the upgrade for both cars this weekend, so I'm eager to experience its impact on the track." Hamilton also shared his thoughts on the progress of the team and the recent upgrade. He emphasized the continuous improvement of the car and recognized that everyone has been working hard and remaining focused at the factory. He expressed pride in the team's resilience and positive morale. Hamilton hopes that Mercedes can narrow the gap to the frontrunners and genuinely compete with them. Furthermore, he highlighted two significant improvements made to the car this year: enhanced ride quality, allowing for a lower position, and improved stability when entering corners. The predictability of the car has improved, which enables greater commitment while cornering. However, Hamilton acknowledged that there is room for further improvement in the balance through the corners, an area where other teams have made significant strides. Mercedes currently occupies fourth place in the Constructors' Championship with 96 points, trailing Red Bull's leading tally of 276. Esteban Ocon has handed over his A524 to Jack Doohan for the FP1 session in Canada. He dismisses the notion that this decision is a form of punishment for his actions in Monaco. During the race in Monte Carlo, Ocon made headlines for the wrong reasons when he collided with his teammate Pierre Gasly on the first lap. Despite being repeatedly instructed to support the driver ahead, as reported widely, Ocon failed to do so. The collision caused Ocon's car to lift off the ground after making contact with Gasly's wheel. The impact was severe, preventing him from participating in the restart. Speculation arose, suggesting that Ocon might be benched for the Canadian Grand Prix. However, Ocon denied these claims, labeling them as misinformed statements. Nevertheless, Alpine did announce that Ocon would not take part in the opening practice session at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. This decision allowed reserve driver Jack Doohan to fill one of the team's two rookie FP1 slots. Ocon promptly dismissed any notion that this move was a form of punishment for his behavior in Monaco. When asked about it during a media interaction in Montreal, he clarified that the team is required to provide two FP1 sessions for rookies, and he is giving his slot to Jack. Ocon explained that the track in Canada will have freshly laid tarmac, making it initially quite dirty. Thus, the circuit needs some cleaning before regular practice sessions. He also mentioned receiving a 5-grid place penalty, which affects his qualifying for the upcoming race. Consequently, Ocon's focus is more on race trim rather than qualifying performance. Considering the team's perspective, they believe that their car will be more competitive later in the year. This influenced their decision to let Doohan run early in the FP1 session rather than later races like Mexico or Abu Dhabi. The Canadian Grand Prix marks Ocon's final race with Alpine, as the team announced after Monaco that this season would be his last with them. However, this decision has no connection with his actions in Monaco. It is simply a matter of timing. Ocon clarified that discussions with the team about his future had been ongoing for several months. Alpine, being a part of the big group Renault, does not make decisions based solely on a single race. They mutually agreed to end the collaboration at the contract's conclusion. He expressed gratitude for his time with the team, spanning 5 years, acknowledging the fantastic and challenging moments they shared. In the world of Formula One, 5 years is a substantial period. Ocon expressed enthusiasm for the upcoming challenge and ending their collaboration on a high note. Regarding his future plans, Ocon stated that he has nothing to announce at the moment. He will reveal his next steps when the time is right. Currently, his focus is set on the ongoing weekend's events and the races to come. Ocon emphasized the importance of racing, which excites him the most. As a former Mercedes junior driver still under the management of Toto Wolff, Ocon has been linked to Haas and Audi. Jack Doohan is seen as the front runner to replace Ocon. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. See you in the next one.